Господин Атанасопулос, можете ли да ни ја пренесете атмосферата во Грција по вчерашниот референдум за договорот за името?
Well, I would say that in general, I would characterize the atmosphere as an atmosphere of indifference. People, when you speak to them out on the road, they don't speak about this. But if you follow the social media, Facebook, Twitter, and the rest, I think that many insist that, look, we've been telling you, people in Fyrom, they are not to be trusted, they didn't go to vote, blah, blah, blah. This is what they say. So you have to count in this the fact that still 70% of Greek population is against the agreement. Some of them even against sharing the term Macedonia with your country. So it is not a surprise that in social media you see these over-the-top comments. Usually social media allow people behind the screen to express themselves maybe a bit more freely. But if you speak with people outside, and if you exclude people who deal with this issue one way or the other, like politicians, journalists, analysts, even businessmen who have an interest in this, the rest of the people, they simply don't care.
Дали резултатите одат во полза на некоја од страните, власта или опозицијата во Грција?
Well, it's not nice to say this, but I think that it is in favor of Mr. Panos Kamenos, I'm afraid, who was the first one to come out on Twitter, lashing out against the agreement, against the Fyrom, and everyone who would support the agreement. This, of course, does not meet what the rest of the government believes, because a few minutes after his tweet, the Minister of Foreign Affairs came out with a much more balanced statement, which was actually repeated today by the spokesman of the government, Mr. Dimitris Giannakopoulos. And this is that we should avoid tense rhetoric, harsh rhetoric, nationalistic rhetoric. We should wait and see what happens in Skopje. We recognize the fact that the turnout was not the desirable one, but at the same time, the people who voted for it, they voted yes in a very high percentage, and this should not be underestimated. And now we have to wait. Now, I believe that especially if the Zaev government decides to move forward with snap elections, this will actually buy time for the Tsipras government, the Tsipras-Kamenos government, if you allow me, because this will actually push back amendments in your constitution, and this will give more breathing space to the government. This is definitely something that the opposition here, the major opposition party, Nea Demokratia, does not like. And this is why, since yesterday, and as far as we have seen again, these actually two lines inside the government, between on one side Syriza and the other side the line of the Mr. Kamenos party, Independent Greeks. They keep asking for elections because they think that this is a very cynical alliance and this is a two-faced government, etc. So this is currently the landscape. Now, there is a big question, which I guess it's also a big question there, what the Greek government will do if a ratification takes too long. No, not the ratification. If the constitutional changes take too long to happen there. And there is a scenario which for the time being seems far-fetched, but many people in the opposition think that it's possible. And this would be for Tsipras to call snap elections using the Macedonian name issue as a pretext. And this is something I'm afraid that only the Prime Minister and a very close circle around him know about, and if this could happen, but some people have it here at the back of their minds.
Кој е крајниот рок до кој Алексис Ципрас може да ја чека Македонија да заврши со уставните измени?
Well, I think that if we go with Plan A, which is that the Zaev government manages to find the 80 MPs that she wants to pass the constitutional changes, then I think everything will be finished in Skopje by, let's say, mid-January. So from there on, the Tsipras government can simply vote for the agreement and actually ratify the NATO accession protocol. So this could possibly happen maybe in February. But if the plan B is in place, and then you have snap elections there, maybe end of November, and then it's December, and possibly the changes there in the constitution take place maybe in February. Then we will reach March here, maybe end of March, and then we will trigger the election scenario in Greece, because the idea that we all have is that the government will call early elections here probably sometime in May, maybe 19th of May or 26th of May. And then it's a matter of timetable according to our constitution, how many days we need since the early elections are called until they are done. So I think that the more far-fetched deadline that Tsipras government has to vote, I think it's in March.
Благодарам.
Thank you.